tune in for Patrick Ching's Painting in Paradise.
Aloha, I'm Patrick Ching and thank you for joining me on Painting in Paradise. In this episode, we learn about lizards, which in Hawaiian are called mo'o. I'll show you how to draw Jackson's chameleon and paint a gecko, all on this intriguingly reptilian episode of Painting in Paradise! How do you feel when you see a lizard? Do you go, "Oh wow," or "Ah"? Yes, there are some folks out there that are very afraid of lizards or just don't like them. But there are many of us who find them so fascinating and beautiful. Folks who love lizards seem to like them in all their forms, from prehistoric dinosaurs to mystical dragons. The mo'o is a prominent figure in Hawaiian culture and lore, although in this case, the mo'o is not just a lizard, but a combination of a human, reptilian, and supernatural being. One well-known mo'o wahine, or female mo'o, is Hawaiian, the guardian of the Kauai Nui Marsh in Kailua, Oahu. She is said to take the human form of a woman when she's above the water, and the reptilian form below the water. Because of Hawaii's remote geographic location, there are no native lizards here. All of the lizards in Hawaii were introduced to the islands by humans, starting with the ancient Polynesians who brought some geckos, which were probably stowaways aboard their large voyaging canoes. In later years, many more species were brought to Hawaii, either accidentally on ships and airplanes, or intentionally as pets. Some lizard species are considered invasive species in Hawaii because they compete for the food and habitat of Hawaii's native wildlife. The first lizards in Hawaii were several species of brownish geckos. In many households, it was common to see these geckos feasting on bugs that were drawn to lights at nighttime. It was also common to hear their loud chirping calls they made to each other and witness the dramatic chases that ensued. In the late 1900s, some new species of geckos spread throughout Hawaii. Gold dust geckos are brilliantly colored compared to the brown geckos that were here before it. These geckos are bold and have pushed out other lizards from their territories. It's not uncommon to see lizards chasing and even eating other lizards. Okay, break it up. But not on my watch. The giant Madagascar day gecko is also becoming more common and can be recognized by a red stripe in front of its eye, and of course, it's quite larger than the other green geckos.
He's giant.
Skinks were another type of lizard that appeared early on in Hawaii. At least 3 species of skinks are believed to have arrived on Polynesian voyaging canoes. The Pacific blue-tailed skink was presumed extinct in Hawaii until they were recently rediscovered on Mokapu Islet off of Molokai. The largest lizards to be found in Hawaii are the iguanas. These plant-eating reptiles like to eat certain leaves, flowers, fruits, but also may go after bird eggs. For that reason, they could be a danger to Hawaii's native birds. Adult iguanas may be up to 6 feet long, and their scaly, dragon-like appearance give them a uniquely prehistoric look. The green anole was the king of the fence when I was growing up. It's now outnumbered by the brown anole, whose population exploded in Hawaii in recent years. Brown anoles are native to Cuba and the Bahamas and are much faster and more aggressive than the green anole. These swift little brown anoles remind me of little raptosauruses that were popularized by the movie Jurassic Park. The male anole extend their bright-colored throat flaps, called dewlaps, when challenging other males or trying to attract females. The brown anole cannot turn green, but the green anole can turn brown. This ability to change color had many folks mistakenly calling them chameleons. True chameleons, however, are also established in Hawaii. The Jackson's chameleon is quite recognizable from the 3 horns that the males have on their heads. Their eyes can move independently of each other, which enables them to search for food or spot potential threats. Jackson's chameleons are one of the few lizards that give birth to live babies, whereas most lizards lay eggs. The ability to camouflage themselves helps protect the chameleons. This is important because they're one of the slowest lizards of the bunch. Now get your paper, pencils, and colors ready, because when we return, I'll show you how to draw a Jackson's chameleon. Hey friends! Well, today I'm going to show you how I go about drawing a lizard. You might call it a certain type of mo'o in Hawaii. A Jackson's chameleon. And yeah, these guys look like they're like right out of Dinosaurville, you know? They got like, they look like Triceratops, whatever. The male's got these horns, and anyway, to me, they're just so fascinating. I'm gonna start them just like I start any other drawing by forming up, and I'll use an oval right there. Remember to press softly in case we don't want to use all of these lines, these form up lines. We want to press softly so that we can either erase them or ignore them, you know? All right, I'll put the head right over there. So I got kind of an oval body, a circular or oval head. And for the tail, I'm also going to do a little circle down here. Look, I'm kind of put a circle right there where the tail's going to end up. I'll bring the tail back up to the body. Oh, kind of looking like a little seahorse or something right now. But we are also going to give it some legs. And I'll use ovals for the legs too, like kind of a back leg we'll have, you know, like that. Okay, for the front leg, I'll put another oval there and another oval there. And, I'll just put a circle right now where the toes are gonna be. Now for the head, let's put the mouth so we know where the mouth goes right around there, and the maka. The maka has like a turret, they call it. They can move their eyes independently of the other eyes. You know, it's just like, you know, I mean, oh, don't try that at home. So you can put the pupil anywhere you want. I'm going to put the pupil back here, like that Jackson chameleon is looking back, maybe to see if something's hunting him or to see if there might be something he'd like to hunt. Now on the male Jackson chameleon, you're going to have 3 horns. One's going to come right out there, and another one right above each eye, okay? So like that, but remember I told you had 3 because I got 2 eyes, so we're gonna put another horn coming out of on the other side eye, yeah? So 3 horns. We'll give them a little point there, and there's a kind of cool thing that happens on the head of the Jackson chameleon. I make a line, it goes kind of above the eye, and almost like a little figure 8 comes back around there. And there's a little bit of a corner there. I'll attach the bottom to the body like that. And we're starting to see this Jackson chameleon take shape. Now, what is he walking on? I do not know. Well, now I know. I'm going to give him a little branch to walk on, okay? All right. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. And you can give him some leaves if you want. I don't know what kind of these might be. I've seen them on mango trees, whatever. Yeah. Okay, the back hump has like some spikes on it. You know, like a couple of spikes every so often. And this can go down the back and all, you know, can kind of be spiky down the tail too. And right there we formed up our Jackson's chameleon. So now that we have our Jackson chameleon formed up, I'm going to use a bigger pen so that you can see a little better. And I'm going to go and do the outlines. This is my form up. I don't have to follow it exactly. But I tell you what, I'll start here at the head. I'll give a little lump where the horn is going to come out of, and another lump over here where the horn is going to come out of there. I'm going to go and give it like the corner of the head, and also this little thing that kind of goes around the eyeball, or the maka, yeah? Speaking of the maka, I'm going to do a big round circle there, and a little one, which you can put that little dot in any direction.
Remember, their eyes move like turrets, they call them. They can move independently of each other, looking at different areas all at the same time. Yeah. Okay, give them a mouth. Now you can make them a little happy or mean or sad or whatever. From the bottom of the mouth, we're going to attach that to the body. And along the back, we're going to give them some spikes on the back. I'm going to come around and show you how I do a spiral tail, okay? So here we go. Bang, bang. You know, there's these couple of spikes every so often. And you can make them big. Heck, you just make them. I mean, lizards are for, you know, imagination. Dragons, reptiles. Okay, we're going to come around the tail and do a little spiral like this. Okay? We can start it like that. Don't worry if you don't get this exactly like mine or whatever. But when you have that spiral in there, you can just start going back. You start going under, okay? Under the part. And now we can start going back. Oh, that's all. Come out there, connect to the body, and it looks like a spiral tail. Yeah. Okay, for the legs, we're getting to some interesting stuff now. For the legs, we're using these ovals. I'm going to leave them a little open-ended right there, coming down here. And there's going to be 3 toes on the outside of that back leg and only 2 toes on the inside of the back leg. Now here's where it gets a little cool. 3 toes, they got little claws if you want to put claws. But on the front leg, they got 3 toes on the inside and only 2 toes on the outside. Okay, so the front leg I'm going to make like that. And remember, I'm just saying that there's only 2 toes on the outside and there's actually 3 on the inside, you know? Okay, remember my lines, they tell the viewer what's in front of what, so I can leave a little gap over there. Now on the bottom of the branch, I like to do them more on the bottom part. You can put a little squiggly lines like texture of the branch. You can make a little circle like little knots. Kind of a fun and cool part of the drawing, okay? Okay, here's your candy now, your reward for working so hard. We're gonna actually do the horns. And this nice big one up here. Oh, it's like a rhinoceros horn, yeah? Then we got this one above the eye. And we got a horn behind the other eye, above the other eye. Okay, so we got 3 horns. You can also give them a little bit of bands in the horns if you like, you know? And heck, if you want to get creative with coloring, all those bands can be different colors. Speaking of color, you can put whatever design you want. Just like dinosaurs, we don't know what color the dinosaurs were, we just make it up. You know, you can have stripes. Even if there is a realistic color pattern to the Jackson chameleon, you just go and have fun. This is an animal you can really get wild with colors, okay? Now there's one thing missing, 2 things missing on this Jackson chameleon, and those are the other side legs. Yeah, this guy can tip over like that. So let's just kind of repeat the shape here, and those will be some other side legs, okay? Yeah, I'll put them like that. And all you gotta do to show that they're like far away is a little bit of shading. So here's where the shading comes in. You know, say the sun's over there, it's coming down. We can do a little bit of shading by shading those back legs a little bit, and instantly they look far away. Yeah, and then a little shading. All right, you know, a little bit under there too. Put some little bing, 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 bing around the eyeball. I think they got a nostril. But there you have it, a Jackson chameleon.
When we return, I'll show you how to paint a gold dust gecko. For art, gifts, and lessons, visit patrickching.com. Now I'll go and show you how you can go about painting a gold dust gecko.
Alright friends, so I'm just going to have a little party here. Okay, I got my colors. I'm going to start with like pinks and reds. I got white and red. That makes a good pink, yeah, white and red. And I'll just start painting pictures. Yeah, put it over there. I'm going to leave everything colored except my gecko. I'm going to leave us a little white gecko. This big old brush, I know what you're thinking, oh, that's a big old brush. But this big old brush can do just everything I need it to do. So basically, I am putting any colors I want. So I'm going to leave it right there and get on to my mole. Press my pinky on there. Oh yeah. I'm actually using the brightness of the canvas to shine through the paint. So that's how I decided to get the real bright color here.
Next, I start to add the darker green areas to my mole.
Comes right back to his eye too. Alright, let's get some on their back now. They got about 5 spots. One right in the middle up here. And that one goes like a, kind of like a shape like that. A couple on the side here. Right, and what I noticed about these red spots is that they're a little different on every gecko, and so they kind of have different patterns, you know, so it's not wrong or right how you get these. And heck, a gecko, you can make up your own colors on a gecko, why not? And as it gets lower and lower, the red will kind of dissipate, different spots, and I'll just start kind of making rows of red dots coming down the tail. So I'm adding some white to the yellow to get a little more opaque. And I'm going to start in the back here putting more like dots of yellow. Okay, that's why they call them a gold dust gecko, like spots and dots of gold. Especially along these 2 lines behind the backbone. Tail really yellow at the end. Put it in thick. You put the paint in thick, it gets more opaque. And so I'm selecting the places where I want to put the white highlights. The places that I want it to look like it's kind of raised and shiny. You'll learn how to select those places for effect. So they do have, right on the upper eyelid, a nice little patch of blue. And I'm just gonna give that one a nice bright blue patch right there. And I'm gonna give the outside, just so you can see a little patch of blue right there. Okay, now we can also poke around some other colors around that eye, and I'll get a little yellow and white going too, to give a little bit of this yellow around the eyelid also. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to do is start putting some orange in the red. And I'm going to put that right on top of the chicken head red. A little more yellow on the higher parts. Now you can try a little white and blue on his toes, because they actually kind of look like that a lot of times. Some blue on the feet. A little bluer in the shadowed areas darker blue in those parts, blue and white on the other parts that are in the sun. And there you have it, Gold Dust Gecko. Thank you for joining me on Painting in Paradise. I hope you enjoyed learning about the mole and how to draw and paint them.
You can see all of my past Painting in Paradise episodes on my YouTube channel. It's great for teachers and homeschoolers who want to learn more about nature and art. Or you can learn how to draw and paint from me by visiting my website at patrickching.com. Aloha!